welcome to Career Center. I'm Kimberly White, Executive Director of the Community Career Center, a resource center located in Naperville for people in career transition. If you are unemployed, underemployed, or seeking a career change, this show is for you. Career Center will bring human resource professionals and other experts together to provide job search tips to assist you as you search for your next success. Later on Career Center, I will be joined by Tracy Doyle of Benedictine University to talk about the Adult Learning Program. But first, it is my pleasure to have independent sales consultant Drew Robertson of DMARC Communications. Drew, thank you.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. So Drew, tell me a little bit about who you are in DMARC Communications.
Yes, so DMARC Communications is my own operation, if you will. And what I like to do is give back to the community with sales education and sales enablement training.
And I know you do that at the Community Career Center. You put on a workshop for us called Sales 101. You want to
Yes.
talk a little bit about that for me?
It's Sales 101 for the job seeker. Mm-hmm. And the premise is basically this. Once you've done a lot of the branding of yourself, or you've got a LinkedIn profile and you've got some web media type profile, at some point in time, you actually need to perform a job search. Mm-hmm. And that is a sales function. And what I've done is I've taken my career in sales and I've revamped it to look at it from the job search standpoint and give and help people who traditionally don't have a background in sales, give them pointers on how to do that.
Mm-hmm. So the holidays are over, and we are, working with our job seekers at the center to talk about restarting and revamping their job search. And I know, again, you do the Sales 101 workshop, but you also have this sales funnel, which is something you used in your background and with working. Right?
Correct.
So let's spend some time talking about that, because it's actually a pretty good concept, and I would love to share that with our viewership.
Yes. So any professional salesman listening to this program knows what a sales funnel is, right? It's pretty standard in across all industries. Mm-hmm. But however, other people professionals who come into the Career Center may come from an accounting background, mm-hmm. or an engineering background, or a financial background. They may not understand it, right? So what I do is I break it down. And basically, it is the simple concept of you put things in the top of the funnel, mm-hmm. you work them through the stages of the funnel, and at the end, hopefully you have something, in this case, a job. Right, that comes to fruition.
Right. So let's talk about it. You have the suspect stage. Let's spend a little bit of time talking about that.
Correct. That's the top of the funnel, mm-hmm. the suspect phase, and again, this is looking from a job seeker mm-hmm. standpoint. So that is the marketing phase. We've built a LinkedIn profile. We have some web media up there. We're trying to capture things. We're also reaching out. We're putting our resume up on Career Builder or Indeed or some of the other job boards that are out there. Mm-hmm. But that's just to get ourselves noticed, right? That's the advertising phase.
Right. And it's really important to do, especially in this day and age, the way
Absolutely.
Job search is, to have that strong online presence.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have to have it nowadays.
You have to have it, okay. And then prospect, which, we talk about at the Career Center networking.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the prospecting, of course, is the next phase, and that's where now you are actually doing some work. Mm-hmm. You are networking, you are going to job clubs, you are going to networking events, you are reconnecting with colleagues that mm-hmm. you've had in the past, and you are getting out your business cards on a personal level now. Mm-hmm. You're also using databases, and this is the other thing I really get into in the class is there are a lot of free online mm-hmm. databases through libraries and such that you can do good performance searches.
Yeah, and we have a great library here that offers a fabulous database. Now, networking, can you share some tips that because I know you're really good at that. Can you share some tips to our audience about great ways to network? So
one of the ways that I do network is I do use LinkedIn a lot, mm-hmm. and I'm what is considered an open networker, right? And the point of that is when I was growing up, my predecessors always talked about it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? Mm-hmm. Today's format is it's not what you know, it's who you know and who they know, right? Yep. So it takes a step out, right? From that standpoint, it is the case where if I come across any type of an opportunity, I'm always trying to find out if I know someone who works there, right? And that is the concept of networking.
And you've been pretty successful
Absolutely.
with that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And do you also, because we talk a lot about informational conversations with people, having coffee, have you done that as well?
Yes, that's one of the most untapped sources of networking, and people forget about it. You're standing in the grocery line, right? And you're waiting, and you get frustrated. Well, typically you make a conversation with someone, and you both laugh about the fact that you're waiting, right? That's a networking opportunity.
Absolutely.
Right? It certainly is. You're at a ball game, you're at a concert, right, or a show. You're actually with family members. We forget about that too. You know, we take for assumption our family members, but yet
they know people.
They know other people in their jobs.
Absolutely. Okay, the third step, qualified.
Qualified, right. Now you're getting a little bit more serious. So you've done some networking. Hopefully you have some targeted accounts that fit you exactly. These can be job descriptions, but these are the ones that fit you like a glove and you know it, right? So that's a qualified prospect for you, right? They may not know who you are yet, but it's qualified because it meets your criteria, and that's very key. The other part is a specific personal reference. Now we're talking about networking, but now it's someone where I say, Kimberly, I specifically know someone at XYZ company and I can get you in front of that person. That is a qualified prospect.
Now, in reading this, you said, is it 25? Do you need to have 25? That seems like a lot to me.
It can be a lot,
but...
yes. So in the professional sales world, we actually start at the top of the funnel with thousands, right? And we kind of need to remember that the human resources and the recruiters of the world, they work in thousands, right? And it's a numbers game.
Right.
At the end of the day, and this is the other thing that I do teach, is the concept that there is a numbers process. And so I work from 100 to 50 to 25, and then it drops down to 5.
Oh, okay. Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Opportunity is the next step.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about
So from your qualified prospect, again, you're still working down this funnel, right? From the qualified prospect standpoint, now you have legitimate opportunities. Now you have positions where you're either talking to the hiring manager or you're talking to a recruiter who specifically is recommending you, or you, again, the example that I gave where I know someone personally that I can get you in front of. Okay, so those are now opportunities. And they are leading towards interviews, right? Okay. That's the point.
And you also talk about in this, with this bullet is the emails and the phone calls, direct emails.
Right.
Phone calls.
So when I talk about emails and phone calls in the opportunity level, we are no longer generalizing. We're not at the prospect phase. We are having direct conversations. And if you are having a conversation with a recruiter or a hiring manager through either a phone call or an email, then you can feel pretty confident about your abilities, especially if there's always that follow-up stage where they're going to get back to you and you're going to get back to them.
Right. Okay. And then finally, appointments.
Appointments. That's the number one goal. Appointments are interviews, right? If you can score those, and again, if you use that math model where you're going from 150, 25 to 5, you're probably only coming up with about 2, maybe 1. That can be daunting for the person who is not used to that. There's another formula that we talk about that so many no's equals a yes, right? The ratio is about a 10 to 1. Right.
Okay, so now as we talk more about revamping and your job search.
The New Year's resolutions.
New Year's resolutions.
Yes.
Everybody has it.
Everybody has
whether
one.
It's exercise or your job search or what have you.
That's right.
So what are some of the things that people should think about?
Yes. This may sound like a cliche, but it is definitely have a plan and work your plan.
Work your plan.
You have to do it. One of the things that I key in on the job sales funnel is to know where you're at. knowing where you're at in the phase, and each opportunity is a different phase. You can have some opportunities at the top of the funnel, in the middle of the funnel, and at the bottom of the funnel, and they're all separate.
Right.
So you need to understand that. That makes you feel better. It gives you a little bit more control over what you're doing, and it kind of removes that, oh, geez, I spent all this time, now what?
Right.
Factor, yeah.
So you say know where you're at, but also know what you want.
Correct.
You really try to narrow that down.
You do try to narrow that down.
Yeah.
And again, depending on your background, hopefully that's fairly easy for you. Again, if I use the example of an engineer, there are certain engineers that are very specific. And so if certain things meet his qualifications, then he can narrow that in. If you're in transition, right, that brings up a whole new ball of wax. So.
Right.
That's
and
tough.
I know we touched base on this earlier about your social online presence. So
Correct.
we mentioned LinkedIn, and it's really important
Yes.
to have that, professionally done,
Yes.
really, hit right on the mark.
Yes.
In terms of.
Right. When I started with LinkedIn back in the very early days of the early 2000s, it was kind of fluid. Nowadays, it clearly is a marketing tool. Recruiters use it all the time. And so if you are not familiar with LinkedIn or you're somewhat of a newbie, you really should get professional help, which is another reason to come to the Career Center, because that's one of the great things that you guys do. You really do have a consulting basis on how to build a professional LinkedIn profile.
Right.
And that's important.
And also your resume. Let's talk a little bit about revamping your resume. So you've been using it, maybe last 2 or 3 months in 2015. Now it's 2016. You've not had a lot of feedback or hits.
Right.
Let's revamp that.
Revamp the resume. And today you kind of have to have 2 resumes. You have to have one that is generic to the ATS systems that are out there. That's a whole other seminar, right? We won't get into that too much, but all that's saying is that you have to have one that meets the format of the ATS system.
Absolutely.
And it's pretty generic. It's black and white, right? But
you have a job posting, you have a job description, you have a resume. It should all kind of.
All the keywords should be in there. Again, one of the other great workshops that you provide is how to dissect a job description and then have your resume fit that. Now, you can't lie, you can't fudge, but on the other hand, if you do fit it, you need to put that into your resume. Absolutely. Yes.
As we wrap this up, I know we need to talk a little bit about being proactive, how a person can be proactive in their job search.
Thank you.
Some tips on that.
That's probably the hardest part to get across. In professional sales, you must be proactive. It is a numbers game. And if you're not making so many reach outs, the calls, the emails, that sort of thing, you will not be successful. We need to educate the accountants, the financial people, the engineers, the other types of people that understand that you don't wait.
Right.
You attack. You attack the market.
Yeah.
Right.
So you've done a great job of doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It has been a good career.
Yeah. Well, great. Thank you so much, Drew. I appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you.
I want to thank Drew for joining me. And up next, I'll be speaking with Tracy Doyle from Benedictine University to discuss the topic, should one consider going back to school now that they're in a job search? Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these public service announcements.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Good things happen at the Forest Preserve District of DuPage County. Experience more than 25,000 acres where native plants and animals make their home. Discover the scenic beauty of over 60 forest preserves containing forests, prairies, and wetlands. Explore the wonder of changing seasons along 145 miles of trails. Get outside and discover the good things that happen when you visit DuPage Forest Preserves. the Forest Preserve District of DuPage County, where good things happen.
Welcome back to Career Center. I'm Kimberly White, and joining me at the table is the Senior Director of Educational Partnerships at Benedictine University, Tracy Doyle. Tracy, thank
Hello,
you.
Kim.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me today.
So Tracy, tell me a little bit about educational partnerships and what you do there at Benedictine.
Absolutely. Kim, I work for the Mosier Center. So we are the School for Adult and Professional Studies. And we work only with adult students. We do not work with traditional students at all. And my role at the university is to reach out to organizations. I reach out to school districts, any employer, basically. So my job really is to educate their workforce and to help their employees become better educated and obviously better employees as well. But I also work with folks who are in transition, people who are looking to kind of up their skill set and what have you as well.
So you have people who are in transition, but you also have people who may be working full-time during the day and they're looking to take classes at night. Because I know that adult program is really geared towards or catered to folks who may have a full-time schedule during the day.
Absolutely.
As well.
Absolutely. And in addition to having a full-time job, they have a full-time life as well. So oftentimes they have kids, they have so many obligations that they're committed to, but you know what? They have a goal. Yeah. They need to get an education. So
if someone hasn't completed their bachelor's or they've taken 1 or 2 classes, how can they benefit from this program in terms of time spent in class?
Absolutely. Our program really is catered to that busy individual. We keep the focus really on them putting their focus into their studies. So they don't have to think about scheduling. They don't have to think about, oh my gosh, what classes do I need to graduate? They don't need to spend a lot of time with an advisor. It's all pre-planned for them. They start and they finish with the same group of individuals as well. So it's
like a cohort.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's always nice.
Yeah, exactly.
And so start to finish time is?
About 2 years. About 2 years. They come to school 1 night a week from 6 until 10. Classes are always Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, seldom ever on the weekends. And it's 4 hours in the classroom, 1 night a week. But in addition to that, there's an online component as well, and that's sort of done at someone's convenience. So it offers a lot of flexibility. And again, 2 years. So
2 years and you can have your degree.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. How many cohorts have gone through this program?
Oh,
do you know?
gosh.
Has there been a number?
Well, I don't know the exact number, but I can tell you that it's been going on for about 15 or 20 years. And we just keep getting better as well.
Yeah,
in fact, I am a graduate of the program, and oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
I know.
love
well,
it.
I look forward to have you sharing some of your story.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, let's just start that now. So you did not have your degree.
I did not. When I came to work for Benedictine, I actually was one of the only individuals who came without a degree.
Okay.
And I am a most unlikely graduate of honestly any program. I never thought I would have a degree. I didn't do that well in high school, and to be honest with you, I probably went through about my first 20 years of adulthood thinking that I just really wasn't smart enough. And that really limited a lot of my opportunities. I didn't access opportunities that really I was qualified for, just because my self-confidence wasn't there. So as I went to work for Benedictine and got hired to enroll students into our program, as I sat across the table from them, they basically told me my story. They told me about how nervous they were. They told me about how they didn't want to fail. And I felt exactly the same way. So as I listened to these stories, I thought to myself, I think I really need to give this a go. I need to put myself through this program. So I did. I did it working full time.
Okay.
I did it going through a divorce. And I also did it, all by myself, supporting 4 children. Wow. So Kim, if I can do it, trust me, anybody can do this.
So what did you or do you like most about the program? Because as a graduate of it and now as someone who works at
some people have called me an evangelist of the program, and I guess I am that. What I love most about the program is it is designed to help people graduate. Because the truth is anybody can enroll in school, but if you're not graduating, it doesn't really help anybody. So I think those built-in safeguards definitely are the supportive atmosphere. I had a smaller study group that I worked with. So I had my big cohort, but then I had my smaller study group as well. And so this small group of people, they worked with me, I worked with them, we helped each other. I was one of those individuals, I was afraid to ask questions in the class because, again, I didn't want to look stupid. Right. So I'd go to my study group after and say, did my teacher mean this? And they'd be like, yeah, that's exactly it. So that helped my confidence. I'm like, oh, I really do understand. And then there were some weeks where life was chaotic for me. And so my study group kind of talked me off the ledge, so to speak. Had I not had that support, chances are I probably would have withdrawn from the program. But the good news is I got to talk them off the ledge some weeks as well, because you know
So,
what?
yeah, you never know.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's give and take. So I would say that is definitely what I love about this program.
Okay, and again, cohort, how many people are in this?
About 14. We start a cohort with 14 students,
Okay.
and we put a cap on it at 22.
Okay.
And our programs are strictly enrollment driven. So as soon as we have 14 students ready to start
it.
school, we are ready to start
So
classes.
it doesn't have to, it's not September to...
Correct.
yeah, it's just
Absolutely. They start as the students are there ready to learn.
So Tracy, what did you get your degree in? And then tell me a little bit about the impact it's had on your life.
Absolutely. My degree is in management, so it's a Bachelor of Arts in Management.
Okay.
And I would say the greatest impact that it's had on me, honestly, was my self-confidence. It really rocketed my self-confidence. It also gave me the ability to start accessing those opportunities that I stepped away from before. I knew that I was now on this level playing field, which I really didn't feel before. And I would stay away from anything that made me feel bad about myself. So one example right here is for my kids' school. I didn't really like going to school and involving myself in parent opportunities because it made me feel inferior. I was dealing with well-educated teachers and administrators, and here I was with nothing. So once I got my degree, I was a better parent. I was a better advocate for my children's education. I'll tell you what, none of my kids are going to go through adulthood without a degree now.
Right. So I know at the Career Center we have people who have not gotten their degrees, and we also have people who are looking to maybe get another degree because they're in a job search.
Sure.
How would you tell them to start this process with Benedictine?
Absolutely. The first thing that they will want to do is they definitely will want to contact me or someone where they can sit down with an enrollment counselor. And basically what the enrollment counselor does is they listen to what the individual's goals are. You know, what are they looking to do with this degree? Where are they wanting to go with it? And they'll help them assess, first of all, is this program realistic for where they're going? And is this going to get them where they want to go? Because like I said before, we don't want to enroll anybody who it's not a good fit. Graduation certainly is the goal. So sit down, talk about their goals, find out, you know, where they're going. Will this fit with their schedule? All these different kinds of things really need to be assessed to begin with. Once we've gone through that and we can assess that, yes, it is indeed a good fit, the enrollment counselor will kind of walk with them all the way to their first night of class, you know, help them get involved in everything and see them at graduation.
And what about the financial piece? There's always someone to talk about.
Absolutely.
That as well.
We have a full financial aid department at our school, but the enrollment counselor will actually go through all the financial options as well.
And then there's also a career center there. So once they've, you know, started school and now they're going to be looking for a job.
Absolutely.
There is a career center that they could also use, correct?
Yes, absolutely. There's a career center. There is a multitude of alumni activities, networking events. You know, when you come to Benedictine, you become part of this family. And you never leave.
Right. That's always good.
You may physically leave, but you're always part of that community.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about other programs available at the Moses Center.
Absolutely. Like I said, I took the Bachelor of Arts in Management. We do have a Bachelor of Arts in Criminal Justice.
Okay.
We also have one in Organizational Leadership. Then at the graduate level, we have a MBA, Masters of Business Administration. In fact, we have one.
And that's at the Moses Center as well, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And I'm going to get back to something in a second. We also have a master's in reading and literacy, and that is for certified teachers and an ESL endorsement.
Wow, that's very good. I did not know that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I should let you know is our program, one of the great benefits of it is we can actually take it on the road. So if an organization wants to bring a cohort on site, we can do that. I work with school districts as well who also bring cohorts into their district.
Okay, explain that. So you...
We bring the teachers to any place where adults want to, gather together and go to school. Absolutely, because the biggest need of adult students is truly convenience. That's a big deal to them.
Wow, that's actually very good.
Yeah.
I did not know that as well. Only at Benedictine.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about, again, your current role. You're the senior director, and you do a lot of outreach.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, indeed. That is really my role. A lot of outreach. Like I said, it's mostly to organizations. It's also to school districts. I have a huge project that I'm so excited about, actually up in Carpentersville, where we're now going to the parents. The goal of this particular initiative is to get parents involved in their own education so that they can be better advocates for their children.
Oh, very nice.
You know, research shows that the higher the level of education of a parent, the better their kids do.
So to benefit our job seekers, let's talk about specifically at the center. I know you and I have talked about ways in which our job seekers could benefit from the program.
Yes.
Would you all be able to do, if we had, again, created like that cohort like you suggested, we could do something?
Absolutely. We get 14 job seekers together who want to go to school. We're right at the community center holding classes.
Now, do they all have to be going through the same program, like a bachelor's in criminal justice or in management, or?
Yes.
Yes, so it has to be.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is absolutely correct. But not all students need to come directly from the Career Center. So there's lots of folks in Naperville who could join together
and do that.
And one of the great things actually about doing it at the community center is we have an educational tuition discount.
Okay.
So that's kind of exciting as well.
Yeah, and we'll have some information about that.
Absolutely.
And if folks have classes that they've already taken, you all take transfers?
Absolutely, we do. One of the other great things about our program is we have what we call work-life experience. So folks can actually take, various trainings that they've done, various other educational opportunities that they've been through, and translate that into college credit.
And that's sitting down with that counselor and kind of going through what that might look like.
Exactly. What they do is they put a portfolio together. They're given instructions on exactly what is entailed, in that. They complete the portfolio, and then someone takes a look at that, and then they're given credit for that.
Sounds like a really good program. And I don't think you mentioned this earlier, but how did you learn about Mosier Center and what they were offering there?
I came looking for a job. That's exactly how I learned about Mosier Center. I don't know that I ever would have, had the courage to seek my own education. Like I said, I didn't think I was smart enough.
I think you shared with me, are you the first in your family?
I am. I'm absolutely the first in my family. Ironically, though, my mom is graduating on Saturday, and she is 71 with her bachelor's degree. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So, again, you learned about it. You were telling a story. I'm sorry.
Looking for a job.
Just looking for a job.
My life completely fell apart, and I was in transition and needed a job desperately. And it was so discouraging to sit in front of my computer and say, hey, it needs a bachelor's degree. Bachelor's. I don't have one. So that was discouraging. So.
Yeah. And now, is the Mosier Center located off of Dill Road?
It is.
It's not at the main campus.
It is. The Mosier Center is in Naperville. We also have our Bellwood Learning Center, which obviously is in Bellwood. But again, our classes truly, they go on the road. They go where students are.
And let me ask you, if there are people who travel for work and say they can't make that, commitment of every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Is there some sort of an opportunity for them to still be part of this program?
Well, I would say if they are traveling every Wednesday, probably they want to get in on a Monday night class.
Okay.
So that definitely
there's an option, because you mentioned Wednesday. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Our classes run 4 nights a week through the
But it's
Mosier
just
Center.
one night that you have to
be in class, exactly. And this program doesn't work for everyone. It's not a good fit for everyone. Some folks do want online programming, and we do offer that as well. Yeah.
And how long have you been at the Mosier Center?
About 9 years.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on the show and talking to our audience about the opportunities there at Benedictine. I know it's a great program. I know a lot of people who have taken advantage of that. So anything else you want to share?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Tracy, we're out of time, but I want to thank you for being a part of today's show. And I also want to thank Drew Robertson for joining me today. And for our television audience, remember, if you're unemployed, underemployed, or seeking a career change, search us on the web, www.communitycareercenter.org, or visit us at 1815 West Dill Road, Suite 900 in Naperville to learn more about our resources. Thank you so much for watching.